Hello everyone and welcome to my tutorials about Ableton Live. I'm just going to start out going over the basics of Ableton Live. This is if you've never used Live before and maybe even never used a sequencer before. So this kind of gives you a basics of what's going on in Ableton. Ableton Live 9 has a lot of new cool functions. And it's a really great program for like making music. So let's get started. Here we have, I'm just going to go over across the top transport controls. And this affects both session and arrange view and kind of shows you what's going on. Over here we have a tap tempo, if you want to tap your tempo out. We have our BPM. We have our nudge function. That's if you're working with a DJ or a live band and you need to push the beat forward or pull the beat back. We have our time signature. These numbers stand for the number of beats in one bar and the note that gets the beat. We have a metronome feature. We have our quantization feature. I'll get more into quantization later. We have our follow button. Then that basically allows us to, the screen will follow the playhead as it moves. Here, if you notice, we have a orange line with a little orange arrow, and that shows us where the playhead is. So wherever that is, it's here, it will start playing from there. If it's here, it'll start playing from there. And you notice wherever I put the playhead, the number corresponds. This is bars, beats, and sixteenths of a beat. Then we have play, stop, record, MIDI overdub, which I'll get into later, automation arm. This is for arming your automation if you want to control with your MIDI controller, the new function from Ableton. And re-enable automation. So say you've made some automation changes on the fly and you need to re-enable what you've drawn out with your pen here. You just click this button and it'll go back. Then we have our loop function here. That's for looping a particular area in the arrange view, not in the session view. Okay, so this deals with the arrange view, and when you finish making your recording, you use this also to render. You tell Ableton, I want to render this place, this amount. So this is what you use this for. You also use it for looping certain sections. Say if you need to get something right, you got to hear it over and over again. You use this. If you notice, this is where it starts, the first bar, first beat, and the first 16th of the beat. If I move this bracket along, the number changes. You can also type that in, and it moves back to 1. Here we have a thing called punch in, punch out. So what this allows us to do is for recording, and we press record, it won't record anything until it reaches this, and then when it reaches here, it will stop recording. So we'll just show you. Immediately the track goes red. That means nothing can be done to it. And as soon as it's finished, the track comes back gray. So that's punch in, punch out. And you can set that for as long as you want. This tells us to loop this. So if we loop it, it's just going to go back on itself. Finally, this number here tells us how long our loop is. Okay, so 1 beat, 2 bars, 4 bars, 8 bars, and I can type in any number I want and immediately be there. So again, it's bar, beat, and 16th. Then up here we have our draw mode for drawing automation, both in the clips and on the tracks in the Arrange view. We have our computer MIDI keyboard. If you don't have a keyboard, or maybe you're on the bus or something and you need to make a beat, or you're hearing some melody in your head and you need to play it out, you can use your computer keyboard to actually play. This enables this. If I press, notice I get this yellow dot over here starts flashing because I'm pressing a key. If I don't press this and I press the key, nothing happens. Also, we can see from by pressing a key what's happening here. We're getting MIDI information. That moves us over here to key and MIDI mapping. Now we can map all of the functions in Ableton to have be controlled by keys on our keyboard, or if you have a controller like an M Audio or Novation or one of these like slick controllers out there, you can use this MIDI mapping to control everything from panning, sends and returns, your transport, punch in, punch out, looping, drawing, tap tempo, all of it. And either key or MIDI does that. And just an example here, if I want to say map out all of these clips to my keyboard, I just select that clip, press a key, select another clip, press another key, and I can actually map multiple things to one key. Then when I press my keys, see, it starts recording right away. It's because I had that record enabled. Same thing here. You get some issues if you have both key and keyboard on. Now nothing's happening because there's nothing there. But it is triggering these three clips. All right, moving along, we have more to go over, but I just want to cover these kind of first top basic things. One more thing to mention, if Ableton is receiving a signal in MIDI, you'll see buttons up here light up. And this is your CPU overload, so that tells you if you are how much of your CPU you're using. And this is for disk overload. If you have too much going on and you see this flashing, you're going to have to start rendering some tracks, or bouncing them down or freezing them, whatever you call it. This shows your CPU percentage, and you'll notice like after you hit about 40 or 50%, you are going to start feeling it in live performance. So that's just the kind of overview of the top transport bar, which stays the same no matter how we're looking at Ableton, whether we're in arrange mode or session mode. Thanks, this is David Soto. Hope you enjoyed my tutorial. Next, we're going to go over the browser. All right, peace out.